9.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. You're welcome to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. And, of course, you know you're on Nigerian Info 99.3. And, you know we're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube Live. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM, but you tag along at Jimi Disu. Okay? Good. Now we have three serious issues to tackle this morning. So I'll go straight to business. This came my way. There'd been some information circulating, which was said to have been said by the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, especially as it concerns the appointment of appeal court judges. Okay, and let me tell you, if you don't get your justice system right in any community or any country, you're doomed. You're doomed for failure. And therefore, I thought that it was quite important for us to discuss this matter. Now, I'm not a lawyer, okay? My father wanted me to be a lawyer, but unfortunately, I'm not, although I'm surrounded by lawyers. My wife is a lawyer, my brother is a lawyer, and so that puts me at least in, and my late father too was a lawyer, so it puts me, but still I won't contribute to things like this. I don't have an opinion to give. But I'm taking this from the Vanguard, and the story says that last week the NBA, Olumide Akpata, raised some concerns over the poor screening of candidates enlisted for appointment as Court of Appeal justices. Narrating his disappointment with the entire screening exercise, Akpata was reported to have told members of the NBA at their quarterly meeting in Uyo that the screening exercise was akin to, and I quote, an old school boys meeting. Now, I saw what was supposed to have been his comments in print. Indeed, I had to send it to a good lawyer friend of mine to authenticate. And we were not just sure. But now that it's in the papers, I can go by, what is in the papers. He says, Akpata was quoted to have said, "What I saw and experienced at the NJC meeting on the appointment of justices to the Court of Appeal left me aghast. At a point, I, as a Johnny Just Come new attendee, had to ask, are these people really going to the Court of Appeal? Important legal issues that were occasionally put to the nominees could not be answered. The whole proceedings appeared more of an old schoolboy meeting. When I wondered at this, I heard things like they will learn on the job. We were to interview 20 nominees at a point, but only 2 hours allocated for this important exercise. That meant 6 minutes only for each nominee. What is this? Let me assure you that the NBA will never be a rubber stamp participant at such bodies. You can quote me. This is what is written in the Vanguard. Now, what I'm going to do now is to read you the opinion of some senior lawyers, and I'm going to put a call through to a lawyer in the United Kingdom just so that we can have a bit of an international perspective to these things. So let's go. Mr. Olisagbakoba, who is SAN, who is former NBA president, believes that the only way to ensure that judicial officers are properly screened is adoption of the retired Justice Dahiru Mustafa Committee's recommendation. And this is what he is quoted as having said. He said, I understand that there's a lot of controversy relating to the recent list of Court of Appeal justices. In order to remove these challenges, simply make the appointment process fully transparent as recommended by the high-level committee set up by CJ Dahiru Mustafa. The committee comprehensively reviewed the justice sector and recommended a roots and branch transformation of the judicial process. Okay, Michael Zekome, SAN too, the headline of what he says shoddy bench tantamount to shoddy justice, and I agree with him. And he says, warning of the implication of having a shoddy screening exercise, Dr. Michael Zekome said, a shoddy screening of applicants for any position in the judiciary leads to shoddy results. Shoddy results lead to a shoddy bench. A shoddy bench leads to a shoddy justice delivery system. A shoddy justice delivery system leads to miscarriage of justice. Miscarriage of justice leads to injustice. Injustice leads to anger. Yeah, injustice leads to anger. We have a lot of that going around now. Then he now goes on to say anger leads to violence. Violence leads to destruction. Destruction leads to insecurity. With insecurity, our dear nation is imperiled. It's a never-ending cycle of misfortune which can be avoided by doing the right thing. Okay? And then he goes on to say, screen applicants rigorously. Okay? And let the best emerge. And that's what he says. Professor Ojukwu, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, also says that NSC insists that for the best hands to be appointed as judicial officers, the process from shortlisting to final appointment must be transparent and open. And he said this: the flagging of NJC's shoddy appointment process by NBA president is an honest, important, and bold call. We have been expecting past bar presidents and representatives at NJC to have made such calls for too long, but only Akpata has shown that honesty and boldness. The only reason the membership of such bodies were made to include members of the bar and the public is to raise the standard of accountability. I must say that the complaint at the lower level is even worse, at the High Court level is even worse. We have quite a large number of people have complaints about the way judges are picked even at state level. It's been seriously compromised. That's what we are told. But ironically, for the lawyers too, we hear that even the process of, I don't know if you pick SENs or you elect them, I don't know which word to use, right? But even that process has been seriously, very seriously compromised. So we're in a deep gully as far as the dispensation of justice is concerned. And it says that the former Lagos State Solicitor General, Mr. Lawal Pedro, SAN, says screening must focus on character and credibility. But all these should be taken for granted. Where then lies the problem? I think the problem lies in who we are, and all our processes have been compromised. Even at the medical profession, you find that diagnosis has been compromised. I remember one time I had a problem and I was in the Bobi hospital, and a woman fell down and had, just a small injury, and then it was said that the doctor, one of the doctors there then, had sent her for an MRI scan. Of course, where these scans take place, apparently, in some of them, there's some kickback that goes on. So, we have all kinds of stories, all professions. Our own profession is not any better. So before you start pointing fingers at me, I point them at ourselves. Recently, we had the story where it was said that a top politician bought a bus for the journalists, and this politician is ready to go put himself up for election. This man now has donated 50 million to Katsina. Fair enough, he can do whatever he likes with his money. But these things cause compromises. I'm not talking about the Katsina one. And so all professions, to be honest with you, are in danger. The security one is even the worst of it all. And heaven help us, in all honesty. My good friend and brother who I've known from childhood, Mr. Sheishu Emimo, says that Akpata's observations must be taken seriously. Mr. Sheishu Emimo is an SAN, and he says that underscoring the seriousness of Akpata's observation, he said, as president of the Bar Association, Mr. Akpata's observations deserve to be taken seriously. If the quality of judges being elevated is low, then we should be prepared to live with lackluster judiciary, which will be performing below expectation. It is a great pity that we are not committed to building enduring institutions in this country. And a law lecturer, Benga Ojo, believes the problem identified by Akpata is a reflection of the decay in the Nigerian justice system. He suggested a holistic reform of the legal system. He said, you will be shocked by quality of judgments coming from our courts, including appellate courts. Some of them are lacking in jurisprudence, analysis, and creative thinking. Some barely state the principles with one or two cases which simply apply to the facts of the case. The consequence of the observation of the NBA president is judicial mediocrity. Oh my God. Oh no. It is unfortunate and sad. You need to read judgments from English courts and Indian courts, and you will marvel at the analysis and critical review of existing cases, both for and against the sound and sound conclusion. In Nigeria, the courts barely rely on line of authorities, and other authorities to the contrary will not be considered. At the end of the day, our law reports are replete with judgments that are inconsistent. The whole thing is shameful. You can trace it to legal training in some of the universities where specialization is a thing of the past. The lecturer barely has textbook knowledge. This is because PhD Islamic law teaches land law. It is sad. Some of the faculties are academic jungles. The products are not half-baked. They are sometimes not baked at all. Wow. This is coming from a law lecturer, Benga Ojo. And let me see, I have some other. I'll soon be opening up our lines. But before we do that, we'll be going to the United Kingdom to talk to one or two lawyers, if we can get them on the phone. Where did I put this now? I'm not interested in sovereignty and all these things. Where did I get that now? Okay, let me see now. Oh, okay, here it is. And Ugumadu, yes, somebody that I respect very much, Malachi Ugumadu, who is the former Executive Director, Committee of Defense of Human Rights, stated that having made his observation, Akpata should mobilize members of the bar to protest the NGC screening exercise. That would be nice. The observation of Akpata over the screening exercise of nominated judges of the Supreme Court of the Court of Appeal is grave. It is believed that the president of the bar fully comprehends the weight of his statement now out in the public. As a leader of a major stakeholder, the bar in the justice sector of Nigeria, I commend his courage and forthrightness in speaking out, unlike his colleagues, who may be equally aware but blowing muted trumpets over such sensitive issues. Ugwamadu says that he must, however, go beyond the lamentations and mobilize the entire bar in protest of what he has just observed and call for a proper screening exercise that will restore the confidence of the public and reassure practitioners and even the bench that ours is still a judiciary that is reliable and dependable in character, conscience and knowledge, legal and sound legal knowledge. This is very important because in the jurisprudence of law, the notion of justice takes a flight, not at the point when you lose a case, but at the point when the public loses confidence in what is happening there. So there lies all the submissions we have. We've had about 10 SCNs. I'd like to hear what you have to say before we go on to the UK to talk to a lawyer there. Can I take the first call, please? We don't have any calls there. Okay. Well, they do know what the numbers to call. Our lines are open. 0700 993 993 993. And the female line is 01465 7190. And there are no exceptions to
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Uncle Jimmy.
Yes.
This is Pastor Ladipo speaking from Orile Gomo.
Yes.
Uncle Jimmy, I want to support the motion of that Barrister Malachi. Let the NBA president mobilize his people and let them protest against this thing once and for all. Let's stop this thing that has troubled our lifestyle in this Nigeria.
But can't he just, in the first instance, write a petition? When you say you mobilize, what do you want them to do? You want them to hit the streets? Oh, he's gone. Okay, I'll take another one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Samuel from Badari.
Yes, please go on.
Hey, Uncle Jimmy. Financial relation. In Nigeria,
this is an English program, please.
I know. I'm just.
Well, you have just a minute, and I think you've blown it. Hello,
yes,
good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. Hello. Please, there are sometimes, let me put it off. Sometimes we have a bit of fun here, but when it's a very serious subject like this and we want as many contributions as possible, just go straight to the point. I think we need to, check out the mood of the subject we are discussing. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir. Please, your name, please.
My name is Dapo.
Please go on.
Regarding the issue of the appellate court judges, I
Yes.
realized that former NBA presidents who were on that board knew and saw those things in the past and never made any suggestion or complaints about it because they were all fans. And it's just like a boys' club, like being observed by Apata. And now
Yes.
that he has spoken out, every one of them should now tell us when they were president that maybe they never observed those things. And that is why you realize that, we always have a reverse at appellate court, high court, Supreme Court, without, there are no intellectuals on this bench.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Hello, good morning. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine, sir. My name is Eric. My name is Eric from Lekki.
Yes.
Uncle Jimmy, it's been said that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man.
Yeah.
And with the situations on ground, I think the judiciary has been compromised. The politicians have taken over everything in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You can't imagine, appointing a chief justice, it's a very big case. They have to go through legal processes, which they now know that it's supposed to be an easy thing through selection.
Mm-hmm.
And my advice this morning is that please, if the senior judges, the senior advocates, that they knows the right thing to be done, please, they should not allow the common man to suffer. The right thing should be done. Please, I know. They will
Okay.
tell you.
Okay. Maybe I should just put it on record that, or rather, I should just say my opinion is that these people don't care about the common man. Don't ever make that mistake. The common man has to take care of himself. That's the honest to God truth. I keep telling you, in this country, there is what should be and there is what is. Don't, common man, don't sit back and expect, some of these senior advocates and whatever. Don't forget they are going to appear in front of these judges. So let's get that one straight. We can do all the bravado that we want, but it works in a balance, some kind of balance for others. This is not to discourage you, though. Hello, good morning. I have another call. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Yes.
My name is Ruth. I'm calling from Ikodu.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Sorry.
What I want to tell you now. I'm sorry what I want to tell you now.
Yes.
The way you view matters of Nigeria makes me not to tune to this station.
Yes.
That they could be objective in whatever you're doing.
Yes.
Things that are black, you find a way to turn it to the ash color.
Okay.
Please, I beg you, say the truth and let God be praised.
Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
Yes. The irony, though, is that you don't tune to this station, but you heard this. That was a joke.
The call is with you now. Talk to her, sir.
Okay. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, we have Janet Fasson, on air, and she's speaking from the UK. She's a lawyer. You've been a lawyer for how long, madam?
Oh, about 30 years, probably longer.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
have you followed this program from the beginning?
Not quite, but I've kind of picked up what you're talking about.
What you're talking about. Okay. Just so that we can get another perspective, we seem to have a problem with the processes by which we pick our judges at all levels, really. But this is mainly about the appeal court. And I just wondered, what does it take to become a judge at all levels in the United Kingdom? In reality?
Well, that's an interesting question, actually. So, what does it take to become a judge? Now, obviously, in the UK, there's something called what we call the Judicial Advisory Commission.
Okay.
And they basically recommend, or rather, they do the selection process for judges.
Yeah.
So basically, there's an application process. They try and make sure that the pool of candidates is as diverse as possible. Capturing all the different makeup of the various communities in the UK.
Okay.
So, in terms of what does it take? So, as I said, they're trying to widen the pool and make sure there's a diverse range of judges from different backgrounds, women, obviously, ethnic minorities, and so on.
Okay.
But in terms of the actual qualities, I guess they're looking for people who obviously know their onions.
Onions,
people
yes.
who are experts, have got sound intellectual capacities, legal understanding, legal ability.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for people who are, I suspect, decisive.
Yeah.
People of integrity. And I think those are the sort of things that you'd expect from a judiciary anywhere anyway. You'd expect those qualities to abound in your judges. So I don't think, the UK is any different in that sense from, the way judges are selected in other parts of the world. So I think those are the keys.
Well, I mean, you practiced here for a while, to the best of my knowledge, for a short while. What do you think has brought about the situation of compromises that we do have here, from your reckoning?
That's a difficult one for me as well. I don't know. I think it's a whole range of factors.
Okay.
So I think obviously the judiciary is a microcosm, if you like, of what society is at large.
Okay.
So I think the society at large, the values that we once had no longer exist, honesty, integrity, or they're in short supply at least. And I think obviously that finds its way through to the judiciary and the selection process as well for the judiciary.
Okay.
So, it's a range of factors, but I just think as a society, those values I've just mentioned, integrity, honesty, honor, they've all gone down the pan. They're not as recognized. They're not as important. And everything seems to center on money these days. And it's not about what you know, or it's about who you know. That's my perspective.
Yeah, so going forward, do you see any hope that this might change? Let me quickly tell you, for me, for as long as the larger society is involved in this kind of mess, compromises, and so on and so forth, I don't think it will be any different from the judiciary. I wonder what you think.
You see, I'm a glass half full person, so I'm an optimist. So I like to think that going forward, and I know it's difficult, I can't see the way at the moment, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably in the same, but they can't see how things are possibly ever going to change. But I like to think that there is hope. And I'd like to think that, but I think it's going to take us a while, to be honest, to go back to those values I described earlier on. I think it's going to take us a while as a society. But I think it's in all our interest, to ensure that the processes by which we select judges, the processes by which we do these things are fit for purpose, and that basically they select, or at the end of the process, actually, we get the best candidates for the Nigeria and for the judiciary that we want to see.
Okay.
So it's a collective effort from everybody. We've all got to challenge the status quo. It can't be business as usual.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has a role in that. It's not just the judges, it's not just the judiciary, it's all of us.
Okay.
We need to demand more of our judges, basically, I think, and more of the selection process.
Any hope of maybe you coming to take up a position in a judiciary and your like? Any hope of that?
I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure about that?
I think that time has passed, to be honest.
I think so too. Sheriff would like to say hello just for 1 minute.
Hello, madam. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
And how is the UK?
You do a wonderful job. Keep it up. I listen to you every morning.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, madam. Thank you very much, okay? And God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
And you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Well, that was Miss Janet Fasson. She's like I said, she's a lawyer. She said she's over 30 years, right? Yeah. In the United Kingdom, so she gave her perspective. We're going to take a short break. When we do come back, we'll look at the second issue that we have to analyze this morning. So don't go away.
Hello. This is a public service announcement to our dear customers that don't have NIN or are yet to link their NIN to their MTN lines. As mandated by the NCC, MTN will be linking your National Identification Number, NIN, to the same registration information you have already provided to make the process easy for you. Here are 2 simple ways to get it done. Log on to my MTN app or dial *785*NIN#. If you don't have a NIN, visit www.nimc.gov.ng to find an enrollment center near you. If you have registered but can't remember your NIN, dial *346# with the phone number you registered at enrollment. Please remember, apart from your primary line, you must also link your NIN to all your MTN lines and data SIMs such as MiFi, HiNetflix, and any other line you use on the MTN network. This announcement is very important. To avoid disconnection, all lines must be linked before 6th April 2021.
I'm a very, very big guy, but I don't joke with my giggy bites. So MTN get the free guy with this data plan for the midnight. 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. 2 gig, oh boy, I can live the life. IG, TikTok is ready to go, oh boy, I'm feeling fine. Because 11 to 6 in the morning, IG, TikTok, balling. 2 gig, there for me. MTN boss, yes, of course, MTN boss.
MTN Pulse. Do you? Dial *406# to join.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
You're listening to Jimi Disu, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, you're welcome back to Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. Now, there's a controversy going on between the federal government and the Lagos state government over the issue of vaccines. The state has been accused of jettisoning the vaccination process. I'm reading this from The Nation. Of jettisoning the vaccination process dictated by the agency leading the program. Okay, and they are taking up arms with the state government and accusing them of not following the due process. The due process that the vaccination process should follow. Let me read further what it says here, and it says that the NPHCDA Executive Director, Dr. Faisal Shoaib, has threatened that Lagos may be denied vaccine supply when the next batch is received. Well, however, the Commissioner of Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, has said last night that Lagos has been using the NPHCDA platform, but explained that the platform has on numerous occasions failed to pre-register residents and schedule citizens in an orderly manner. So who do we hold responsible for this chaos that we have now? But it says here that Professor Abayomi added that the state had continued to engage the IT staff of the federal agency to resolve these issues. But Dr. Shoaib said on NTA yesterday that if it turns out that after our investigation that Lagos State has a different platform and are using it for this process, then they stand the risk of actually being bad for getting further vaccines. The question is, who is compromising the process? Lagos State or the federal government agency? And this news I found quite interesting among other claims that he has made. It says that part of the problem is if Lagos State is using a different platform, then we cannot account for those vaccines the way they are supposed to be accounted for. And if we cannot account for the vaccines, the donors will be very clear that we cannot send vaccines to those states. So we are under the supervision. A sovereign state now is under the supervision of donors because we just don't want to do the right thing, have our own pride and whatever, and buy our own vaccines. We can have donors, but at least the first move to encourage your citizens for the sovereignty of our country, for our image, go up with your money, buy the vaccines that even some other African countries have done. But back to what he said, what Dr. Shoaib said, if it turns out after investigation that Lagos State has a different platform and are using it, they stand the risk of actually being bad. That has been said. These vaccines are being provided by COVAX and have been donated by different organizations, and they're very clear about accountability for the vaccines. Now, that's a key word, accountability. Is there some compromise? Has it been politicized? If Lagos State is using... it says no state will be allowed to procure vaccines on their own. This is the policy of the federal government. I hope that it is not correct that they have a different website, because that would be wrong on the part of the Commissioner of Health. Well, Commissioner of Health says that the federal website is not functional, and does it mean that he has provided an alternate? Let's see what he has actually said here. The sub-story says that Lagos working to resolve all issues, and Lagos government is not using a parallel platform to register residents for vaccination, says Professor Abayomi, reacting to the allegation. Abayami said the state has been working with officials of the agency to make exercise threats. These are all political statements. There is something untoward that is going on here. Let me see. Schweib also said yesterday that the platform that MPACDA and their development partners have developed is a platform that is working very well. He says they're working very well. Abayami says not working very well. There are times when it will have issues. But happens with every situation where we have internet challenges and where a lot of people are trying to access a platform. And so whatever teething problems that we're having now, it is better we fix them, because this is a 2-year potential program of vaccinating over 100 million Nigerians. This is just less than 2 weeks. And so whatever challenges we are facing right now, we need not quit. We must be resilient to fix whatever issues that come up and move together as a country. Dr. Schweib says he'll be reaching out to the governor to find out if this information provided is correct. It says the information that we have. Sheriff, may I ask that you put that phone down and listen to this one? It's very important. He says the information that we have is that people who are not eligible in the first phase of the COVID-19 vaccination are going through the back door in collusion with officials of the Lagos State Ministry of Health, and they are actually assessing the vaccines. That is spot on. That is spot on. In fact, the thing has become man, no man. Money is extending hands. And he then says that we have been very clear that we have phased the process of accessing these vaccines into 4. The first phase is of frontline health workers, their support staff and other health workers, and the first responders, that is people who are likely to come in frequent contact with crowds. We have also pointed out that we need our strategic leaders to symbolically take the vaccines by actually indicating the safety and so on and so forth. And then he talks about the various phases. But he then says that what we are getting from the report so far is that there are some centers in Lagos, particularly the Falomo Clinic. I think that's the police clinic.
Yeah. No, that Falomo one was actually even reported in the media. That's the one I was telling you about now. The ones that,
But that's the police.
To take foreigners and...
Foreigners, police, police, they do that. Well, now.
In a hospital.
No be uniform, then they wear there. Oh, my God. The case in Falomo matters. We hope that the report will be available. Like I said, the case in Falomo matters because it sends a very negative signal that there is lawlessness and that we are people who are not following guidelines. But I think everybody has done that. Right from elections to birth certificates, to name it. We've never got anything right. It says if we're allowed to go unabated, then it becomes a situation where all comers will want the vaccines. What we are saying is that contrary to all social media hypes that the vaccines are not going to be taken, we see a lot of demand for the vaccines, actually. We have a situation where the common saying is that Lagos is the center of excellence and the commercial nerve center of Nigeria. I think this crisis around the management of vaccines will be a litmus test as to whether Lagos is also the North Star when it comes to integrity, ethics, and implementation of our programs. I know the governor is on top of the situation. This is a diplomatic statement, and is trying to resolve these issues. It hasn't ended, though. It says, explaining how Lagos State has allegedly been breaching the rule, the Director General of the Nigerian Institute for Medical Research, Professor Babatunde Lawal Salako, said, what has happened is that Lagos State has its own platform, which is different from the platform created by MPHCDA. And the Lagos State platform is not a public one. You get it, Sheriff? They said the Lagos State platform is not a public one. It's under G. It's only for the initiated. I got to know this when they came to vaccinate at NIMR. They were registering people as they were being vaccinated. I did ask if that registration platform is open to people, and the lady told me it is not. So they are the only ones doing the registration. That then means that they do not have any structured way of inviting people to come and get vaccinated. If that happens, then what we have seen is this kind of thing. We are going to be seeing, what is this kind of grammar? Because everybody will scramble. Well, what if everybody will scramble for the vaccine. I did register on the NPHCDA platform, and it worked very well. They actually allocated me to a nearby health center where I'm supposed to get vaccinated. But then, when Lagos started to vaccinate, this was not being used. Lagos they discarded their own and used their own whatever. And so there's a need for Lagos State and the NPHCDA to discuss to determine which of the platforms is going to be used. Anyway, the bottom line is this: the whole system has been compromised. I hope that those who have taken the first shot will find it possible to take a second shot, because if these records are running up and down and some sites are legal, some are not, you could all have taken that in vain.
But why must we get to this point? Why must we get to the point where everything must just scatter?
That's the Nigerian way. To be honest with you, are you surprised? I no longer care about these things. Because
there should be some exceptions to all of these things. Whatever nonsense that we think that we're doing. This is COVID we're talking about. If you don't get it right, you suffer for it.
But you saw the super spreader, even the state government and the chief.
They organized and
they organized and no apology.
Till now.
The chief incident commander, whatever that means, was one who organized what you saw. A complete super spreader. No apologies to the public. We don't know how many people have gotten COVID from that super spreader that took place. And it's business as usual. Even the opposition party in Lagos has not bothered. Jimi Agbaje, who is a pharmacist and should be able to stand up and point out these things, has not said anything. And he's made 2 attempts to run this state. You see, this is what gets me worked up. You have the past candidate just 2 years into, he has said nothing. Another 2 years now, he'll come back and say he wants to take up election. I mean, there's something wrong with us as a people. There is something wrong with us as a people. So that's why I say there's no difference between these two people. The PDP, nobody has said anything. A candidate who ironically is a pharmacist. So when I say that I'm going to put in very soon, I'm just going to walk away from this job. You can. Before you know it, now I'm going to start getting telephone calls saying that you shouldn't have said that. So, but how else would I say it? How else would I say it? Both the ones that had the super spreader, now the whole system has been compromised. The alternative we would have had, who is a top pharmacist of some sort, has not said anything.
Let me even add something. Before the NPHCDA came out with this thing here, before all of these things, the Lagos State government came out through the commissioner and said that we have heard the reports of confusion area, that we have put proper structure in place and it will not happen again. It's still happening.
It's still happening.
People are still getting vaccinated through the back door.
It's going to get very, very difficult for us to get our first.
And now they are threatening people from getting vaccinated because of their rift with the federal government. I mean, why the hell do we have to have a clash between the federal and state because of vaccination?
Over what? The way things are going, it's going to be very difficult for you to get any credible person to make up our first 11 in public office. It's going to be very, very difficult. The morale and ethics that we have now is so frightening. It's all about money and power. All about money and power. It's 9:45. In another 8 minutes, I have to be out of here. I'd like to give my people, a chance to hear their views. What you have stated is quite clear, but please mind your language. And when you do come on, this is a serious subject. Just go straight to the point. You have exactly 1 minute. I want to take as many as possible. I'd like to take the first line from the female line. Is there anybody there? Okay, the female lines. Hello, morning.
Hello.
Morning. Can you please put off the radio that you have in the background? Look, let's move on to the next caller. Please, when you do call in, I've said times that number, please call from a very quiet background so we can hear you loud and clear without interference. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Female.
Oh, man.
They talk, this one is Rosalind E.
Rosalind E.
My voice, yes.
Your voice husky. I like him. No worry. Yeah, go on.
You they encourage us now. Say make a PDP come talk. Make a former person we run for the other time. Don't mind my broke, because as I want here and make people hear where.
Yes.
Now they talk and now say PDP just keep quiet. Most times when some people from another party or some headline come from another party, you personally, I'm just telling you one-on-one now, even people they hear. Now you go talk, say this one no they important. If that man come out and say something as the pharmacist you call him, he will say something now, and you will see some people telling you that because he's jealous, he cannot even win this, he cannot do, they will condemn. That's why we are asking, how is 2023 going to be?
Okay, thank you, man. You've had your 1 minute. The question really is this. In all honesty, one of these bodies that have the moral right to put the government in check is the opposition. And why I added that the fact that Mr. Agbaje is a pharmacist is quite clear. He's in the medical profession. And therefore, he should be more than concerned than people like you and I. And as to the other statement, that's your opinion. I just let that slide. But in all honesty, let's get serious about this thing. We just need to get look. The first issue we had was the judiciary. Now this is medical. If I sift through the newspapers now, there'll be more than enough to talk about education and other areas. And we can't continue like this. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Who's calling?
This is Dambaba.
Oh, Dambaba, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Please go on.
To be honest with you, there is nothing excellent about Lagos as it is now. Let's want to continue to deceive ourselves. Lagos is in the hand of, to me, area boys. I'm very sure I think they will take over giving us vaccines. Let me be honest with you, Uncle Jimmy. I'm the kind of person that when things go right, I say it. When it go wrong, I complain.
Yes.
I remember when I went to Yaba to do this COVID-19 test.
Yes.
I put it on my Twitter handle, and I appreciate the process. It was real and all this. And I went out to campaign that people COVID-19 is real. People should go and do tests. I knew somebody who went to do tests because of what I told him. They told me that they will send me the result by May. Up to today, I've not received the result. As I speak to you, if I have COVID or not, I don't know. What kind of process is this? You promised me. I went there back. They said I should sign. I should watch the virus I want to use. The nonsense was too much. I just have to find my way out of this place. That's why I stopped calling them to give me my result. We have to put things right in Lagos. Things are not going right. People are traveling to Kaduna to donate. Is that what we want in Lagos now? I think Lagos have to work. The Baba needed to get up. So I heard that you will not go second time. So what are you afraid of? If they want to impeach you, let them impeach you. With the people who will come. Personally, I will come out to protest against that.
Yes.
I love him.
Okay, we lost that. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy.
Good morning. Yes.
Grandma.
Morning, Grandma. Yes, quickly, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I was just wondering, how did we get here? To this not working stage? Everything is so disheartening and it makes people to be sad. That everything has turned upside down. I don't know. How do we get it right, Uncle Jimmy?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, somebody will answer that question soon. Hello, good morning. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, yes.
My name is Elder Sam from Ayobo.
Yes, sir. Please go on. Quickly. You have just a minute.
All this talk about we have plan in place, we have procedures. The procedure has been briefed the one of government. My neighbor called me and said, come to the clinic and take yours. I have not registered. So how can I go and take? And when you walk there, you take and you go away. This is the truth. Every other thing the government is saying is all lies.
Were you given any sleep or anything for having taken?
Nothing.
So you just take an injection and you work come or you work go?
No, I did not go, but my neighbor went.
Your neighbor went. Okay.
He took and said, go and take your own.
Okay, thank you.
They are not following any registration.
Thank you very much. Now, the problem we're going to have pretty soon, amongst others, is when you do take this vaccination, you need to have a document. Because something tells me that very soon to get certain things done, you'll need to show proof. And you cannot. Nobody will give you a document if it is not documented that you've been given the first one. So what I'm going to ask people to be a bit patient, or at least make sure at the very least that it is recorded and the right thing is done. I got to leave. Tomorrow is Friday. I'll be back here again. Tomorrow we'll look at one of the stories I wanted to look at today. We will be looking at that. And on Saturday, the discourse, I'm thinking of bringing one or two very senior lawyers for us to have a further discussion on this issue of the appeal court. I'd like to thank everybody who contributed. I'd like to thank Ms. Fasson from the UK who contributed, and also my friend, Sheriff. Yeah. I wonder what I would do without you.
You do plenty.
No, this is just to see if I can extract lunch money from you because I'm broke. I'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. I'll be here. So you take care now. I'll see you.
Hey there, how you doing? I'm here to tell you about some fantastic news that you're certainly going to want.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.